What's good, my lovely peoples? It's your main man, Solace, the humble wise one. Today I want to do this video discussing the problems in America as of today. Now, the problem that we have in America is a very deep thing because you have two class of people, only two. You have our government system, and then you have everyone else. So the government system would be the politicians, the president, the bankers, all the high ups. And then you have the citizens. Now, it doesn't matter how rich the citizens are monetarily. It doesn't matter how rich they are because paper money doesn't mean anything. So the higher ups don't count that. This is why you don't see rich people truly being a part. So it's a deep thing. You see them at parties and things like this, but that's as far as it goes. They truly don't have a clue what the fuck is going on either. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. You have two class of people. You basically have the ruling class, and then you have everyone else. Now, everyone else in the class that's separate from the ruling class, they scuffle and fight amongst each other, trying to get to the top. I'm assuming they think they're going to be a part of the ruling class. I still haven't figured out why people are scraping and struggling and scratching and kicking each other down to get more money and get higher up. Because it's a deep thing. But this is where it gets deep. Because you have those two classes, but within the citizens class, the citizens have no clue what side they're on. Some of the citizens think they're a part of the ruling class, the government class. So when they see the government quarreling with one another, because the government they're pissed that Trump is in office. So we see all the ruckus going on, and a lot of citizens are taking the side of the government, and they're getting lost in what the politicians are discussing, failing to realize that they are not a part of that, and if that is going awry, that's a good thing for the citizen. If Trump being in office is pissing them off, this is a good thing for the citizen. But this is where it's bad because the citizen doesn't know their place. And this is a deep thing y'all have to truly grasp. Y'all don't need to be mad if Trump is in office or if Hillary is in office. Y'all don't need to be concerned with that because none of that has anything to do with you. Money, having more money, having free Medicare and all this dumb shit that we so focused on has nothing to do with life. We live in a system where you must pay to be buried and all these things. But you go with that. I mean, you can bury your dead the right way, bare in the ground, simple, for free. So it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. And another thing before I go too deep in this video, if we continue to bury people the wrong way, meaning in boxes like treasure chest, keeping it from the life, thousands and hundreds of thousands of years from now, there will be no precious metals produced by the earth because the earth uses the dead bodies to bring forth these precious stones that we have. It's a thing called petrification. So y'all just have to grasp. The dead living organisms of this place of earth, they die. They go to the ground with no box on them. And then they're petrified over time, lots of time, undisturbed. They're petrified, hardened out, and turned into the beautiful stones that you see today. When they're pushed back up, through volcanic activity and other means. Men digging them out, being desperate to mine, things like this. So just understand. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about being buried, well, just know when it begins to be a shortage in precious metals. If there is already, I wouldn't know. But if there's a shortage now, well, this is why. Because men have been burning the body, taking the body out to sea, and burying it in boxes. So it's a deep thing. And then you have men excavating, doing their archaeological work, and in them doing this, they're disturbing bodies before they're even ready. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Now, let me get back to the video. We go with the system by choice. And then we get caught up into the politics of things. But we have to understand there's nothing wrong. There's nothing going on. The system is not crumbling. The system just always wants the citizens to believe it's crumbling. And there's always a problem. Because this keeps y'all from thinking. And it's a simple, deep thing y'all have to grasp. Everyone works. Working is what makes the system exist. So y'all have to grasp. We all hate the system. But you do the main thing that keeps it going. Now, we all know working is what keeps the system going. If you're lost on that, let me just explain to you as quickly and simple as possible. When you go to work, you're taxed. Your boss, he's taxed. Everyone's taxed by the government. There's millions of people here working. So you can just say if they take $5, and we know they take more than $5 out your check, but if they just take merely $5 from the millions of people here, you can get an understanding of how much money they're taking weekly. And this keeps the system going. Mind you, the money isn't real. It's all about the land and the resources. So y'all work the land for them. And then they pay you in paper money so that you can buy back the little bit of resources that you can afford. So grasp how deep that is. A man makes cars, but he has no ownership in the car making business, and he probably doesn't even have a car. So it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. The tailor that works at the True Religion store, or the nudie store, the G-Star store. They stitch up these jeans, but they have no ownership in the company, and they probably don't even own pairs of them. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. You working is what makes the system what it is, where you're at the bottom. The system is the reason why you can't rise up and everyone be rich. People have to grasp this. The system is not built for everyone to be rich. We know this. So you have to start being real with self and saying, okay, if maybe only 1 to 2 people out of every neighborhood can actually become rich, then where does that actually leave you in real life? So we got to start thinking wise as a whole. If we know as a whole all the citizens are not going to be well off, well, then we need to figure out a system where everyone will be well off, as opposed to fighting amongst one another to try to climb this invisible ladder to wealth, when the wealth is in the land ownership. And we don't own no land. People don't understand how the land is the wealth. Well, everything that you buy comes from the land, whether it's clothing, fur coats, whatever, food, housing, whatever you buy comes from the land, the raw materials that make it. So you have to grasp. It's a simple thing. As long as we keep going with the system, voting, going to work, and all of these things, you will always have the life you have, where there's a limit to you having wealth and being good. You have rich people still have bad days and they still in debt, because that's how the system is set up. See, if you make a certain amount of money, you can't just live in a hole in the wall and be rich. No, the system don't allow that. You have to live according to your income. This is how people stay in debt. Because now a rich person has to live in a rich neighborhood. In accordance to their income, they still in the same conditions that the poor nigga is in. So it's a deep, simple thing you have to grasp. Now, I'm not going against anyone that works or whatever, because y'all get lost in this. It's just a simple thing. I'm telling y'all. You don't have to work. And people don't have to live in this system. It only exists because we go with it. There was only slavery because men let other men enslave them. So it's a simple thing. I know y'all can't grasp how everyone can be rich, but just grasp. The earth produces all the things that we have. You can have your own share. It's your main man, Solace.